Every great achievement begins with a decision to persist, no matter how tough the road becomes. Right now, you might be feeling stuck, like your efforts aren't paying off, like the finish line is a distant dream. But remember, you're still in motion. You're still on the path. This moment, this struggle, is just part of the process. It's not a signal to stop. It's a reminder that you're building the strength you'll need for what lies ahead. The journey to your goals was never meant to be easy. Obstacles and challenges are not there to defeat you. They're there to build you. Every barrier you face is shaping you into the person capable of achieving what you're working toward. You're not just aiming for success. You're becoming someone who embodies resilience, determination, and grit. Those qualities aren't given, they're earned through the trials of perseverance. Progress doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's slow, almost imperceptible. But it's happening, like a foundation being laid beneath the surface. The effort you're putting in now is setting the stage for something extraordinary. Even when it feels like you're standing still, you're preparing for the leap forward that will come. Keep going, even when it's hard to see the results. Trust that your consistent effort is building your future. You may feel tempted to quit. The thought of easing the struggle, of taking the pressure off, can be alluring. But we know that stepping back will not bring you closer to the life you've envisioned. You're just being tested. Regret is heavier than any challenge you're facing right now. If you stop, you'll never know what could have been. If you continue, well, then the possibilities are endless. Understand that the most inspiring stories aren't about smooth roads and easy wins. They're about perseverance. They're about people who faced incredible odds and kept pushing forward, who refused to let temporary defeats define them. Your story has the same potential. The struggle you're enduring will one day be a part of your journey that inspires others. When you feel your resolve wavering, reconnect with your vision. Picture what you're working toward. Hold on to the spark that started this journey. Let that drive push you forward when momentum wanes. Success is not reserved for those who have the easiest path. It's for those who refuse to quit. Every day you choose to persist, you're getting closer. Every effort, no matter how small, it's progress. You may not be there yet, but you're further ahead than we were yesterday. Keep your focus on the direction you're headed, not the distance left to travel. The journey is shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for what's to come. The path is still yours to take. The goals you've set are still waiting for you. You're capable of enduring more than you think and achieving more than you've imagined. So keep going, keep climbing. You're not there yet, but you're closer than you've ever been. You know, we're emotional beings. Some days we're up, other days we're down. Sometimes we can break through barriers, while other times we're too weak to get off the couch. We can feel powerful, then in an instant we can be triggered and feel overwhelmed. I mean, what's going on with our emotions? Why can't we seem to control our inner feelings? And why do we have so many down times? Really, in a single day, you can experience the full range of emotions from highs to lows. How you feel internally is directly related to your external factors, but that's not where the power lies. Where it all begins is with your state, or in other words, your state of mind. When you're in a happy, positive state, the emotions that flow are generally aligned with your positivity. Hence, you act positive, you think positive, and you feel positive. In this state, life's good, and all the outside forces are filtered through this positive lens. But let's look at an example of the opposite that we can all relate to. What's your state first thing in the morning? Are you positive and ready to go? Energized? Unlikely. Most people will start the day in a low activation state. That's why they feel sluggish, maybe grumpy. This experience is being filtered by that low activation state, and our emotions are following. See, how you interpret the world is through your state. It's not the outside factors that affect you. It's how you're filtering these things. So if we want to feel more positive and energetic, it stands to reason that we need to get ourselves into a positive and energetic state. Well, easier said than done. As I mentioned earlier, we tend to drift into negative much easier than positive. We blame the outside world, but again, how we view the outside world is through the lens of our state. So the real issue is, how do we get ourselves into positive states more often? Our brain's default system is to see what's going wrong or what's lacking. And when you're looking for problems, well, guess what? You're going to find them everywhere. You don't even have to look for them because they're fed to you from all directions. Whether it's the news or gossip or social feeds, there's negativity coming at you from everywhere. And the more we focus on all this stuff, the worse we feel. Our emotions come from this negative state, which is filtering all this information. So no wonder the population thinks the world is bad. Look at what we're being fed. So here's the thing. We don't control the outside forces. We only control how we interpret the forces, which requires that I control my state if I want to keep in a positive mood. All right, there's two ways to do it. First, focus on the positive. Be grateful for what you have. What you look for, you'll find. And second, change your physiology. Get up, get moving, feed or strengthen your body, and you'll start to feel better. Remember, it's all about getting yourself into a better state so that you can filter the world and your emotions will follow. People are an interesting species. There are the haves and the have-nots. There are the dreamers and there are the doers. We're creatures of habit, yet we desire change. We understand what's required for growth, but we fear taking the actions to do it. We're jealous of what others have, but we're not willing to do what others did. We're a conundrum. How can we make sense of why some succeed and others fail? Why some seem to fall forward while others stumble at every turn? I believe it comes down to two things. First, what beliefs and or what limiting beliefs do we hold? You see, we become what we believe we can achieve. So really, the only thing holding you back is the belief in yourself. It's not society. They're dealing with their own issues and can care less. It's not the universe. After all, it's the universe that can provide everything you desire. Your beliefs in yourself, or rather how you see yourself and what you can achieve, is simply the growth mindset. It's a belief that anything is possible. We don't set limits on our abilities, and we believe that we can overcome any challenge. We may not know how it's going to work out, but just that it will. And secondly, success is achieved by how we manage the forces of resistance that we encounter on a daily basis, or as I call it, the fog. On a clear day, anyone can navigate the obstacles to reach one's goal, but unfortunately, most days are going to be clouded with distractions and challenges. The fog is the resistance represented by the mental and physical discomfort required when pursuing a dream. And when discomfort is involved, we all too often retreat back to our comfort zones when the uneasiness becomes too great. So therefore, after a belief is ingrained, what determines your destiny is your ability to maneuver through the fog. You see, I believe there is greatness in all of us. Just exactly what that greatness is can only be revealed when we test our limits and challenge the status quo. But you have something to give that only you can offer. Stop wasting your time comparing yourself to others because their gift is not your gift. Your journey will be a solo effort. Yes, there might be company along the way, but ultimately, it's up to you to tackle the daily grind and maintain the belief that if I just keep stepping, if I just keep climbing, eventually I'll hit the summit. I may not see the peak, and there are days where I'm going to want to quit, but that's the price to be paid. It's saying yes to the discomfort when others say no more. Nothing comes without a cost, so why is your dream any different? If you believe that you deserve it, you'll find a way. If you believe that you can achieve it, you'll keep working till it's done. It's not the universe saying you can't have it, it's the universe saying, how badly do you want it? I'm about to ask you a very simple question. It only contains 4 words, and I know you've probably asked this same question hundreds of times to your family or friends, but I want you to really think about the answer. I don't want you to just give me the superficial, I'm deflecting kind of answer. I want your deep, heartfelt, best answer. Ready? What do you want? What do you want? I told you it was a simple question. We've all heard it before, but wow, if I just sit for a minute to really ponder the words, what do I want? In casual conversation, when someone throws out that question, most people are real quick to come up with what they don't want. For example, they don't want to work at a job that's unsatisfying. They don't want coworkers they hate. They don't want a boss looking over their shoulder, etc., etc. We've become keenly aware of what we don't want. You know what? And that's okay. At least that's a place to start, eliminating certain factors in our world. Okay. But what do you want? For many, answering this question is a light bulb moment. It's when we start to realize that, hey, my life isn't exactly how I want it to be. There are certain irritants that are preventing me from being completely joyful. Good. How you're living, what you're doing, and who's in your life. You've brought all these things into your world. They didn't exist until you allowed them to become your life. It all happened because you weren't really clear on what you wanted from the get-go. Maybe out of convenience or necessity, we ended up where we are without much thought. What do you want? It's a question I ask my clients all the time because it gives clarity to an otherwise clouded mind. When you know what you want, suddenly life gets easier. Because now all my decisions are based on getting me to where I want to go or to whom I want to be. I'm talking daily decisions are now aligned with my values and beliefs. Understanding what you want sets the boundaries and habits in motion to move you in the right direction. No more am I just unconsciously moving through this life without any real consideration for the day-to-day. But rather, I'm feeding and empowering my soul through conscious awareness. And that is why the simple question you need to ask yourself, what do I want, really isn't so simple after all. Our time here is finite. Has that sunk in yet? I know as humans we don't want to think about it or our final breath will be, just For a moment, let me remind you that our existence is not permanent. The virtual hourglass of our lives is running. Okay, so now that I've got you thinking about this, what will be different? How will your life change starting now? For many of us, this is an uncomfortable discussion, and I get that. It's grim to think that there's an end to this journey. After all, we're so busy just making it through the day. Who has time to think long term? Well, I want to share a story with you that affected me greatly this week. I have a friend on Facebook, but in fact, we were classmates a long time ago, and thankfully, Facebook is a great method to keep in touch with old friends. No matter where we are in the world, we can log in and see what's happening, the good or the bad. Now, my friend's had many health issues in her life. You could say that she's drawn the short straw of physical ailments, having gone through a few serious health-related matters. Anyway, she was posting about her upcoming heart surgery. Obviously, she was fearing what could go wrong, but trying to put a positive spin on the situation, which was her usual mindset. Stuff's gonna happen, I'm worried, but I'll be fine. And of course, upon reading the post, I gave the typical thumbs up, expecting to hear from her again and get the post-surgery updates. Except this experience was different. Instead of hearing from her, it was her daughter posting on her page to say that there were complications in the surgery and her mom didn't make it. And there it was. The not so gentle reminder that life is precious. And so I reflected. If this could happen to her, why am I any different? It made me think, is what I'm doing really what I want to do? What changes would I want to make? What people do I most want to connect with or let go? If you've had a loved one or a close friend or heck, even an acquaintance pass, you know the feeling. You start reevaluating things basically only to return back to the norm of our lives after an hour, a day, a week, back to just getting through the day until the next reminder. So let me challenge you to question the norm as it is today. Question your existence and ask you to perhaps adjust your sails for different waters where need be. Not everything has to change, and certainly change won't happen overnight, but maybe take the first steps in addressing what you've been avoiding or wishing to achieve. After all, our time here is finite. And if you knew when your time will run out, what would you do differently? Start there. Start with the glaring understanding that we best make the most of our time before our sons and daughters are posting on our behalf on Facebook that, due to complications, our friends won't be hearing from us directly anymore. Imagine for a moment that every day you wake up with a clean slate. What if instead of letting yesterday's worries weigh you down, you started fresh with a world of possibilities before you? What if instead of focusing on what could go wrong, you shifted your attention to what could go right? We know that most times when we face a challenge, our mind races through worst-case scenarios. But what if you use that energy to visualize your success instead? What if you believe that every step you take brings you closer to your dreams? What if you could see failure not as a dead end, but as a stepping stone? What if you saw setbacks as a learning experience or just one more way not to reach your destination? Failure is not permanent. It's just an obstacle to overcome. So what if you viewed your own setbacks with the same perspective? Each obstacle could be a chance to learn, grow, and improve. What if you stopped comparing yourself to others? It's easy to look at someone else's achievements and feel like you're falling short, but What if you recognize that your journey is unique? What if you embraced your own strengths and celebrated your progress, no matter how small? Remember, every great achievement started with a single step, and every person you admire started from where you are now. What if you believed in the power of your own thoughts? Your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of positivity, you'll grow a beautiful life. But if you let weeds of doubt and negativity take root, they'll overshadow your potential. What if you made a habit of nurturing positive thoughts and affirming your worth? What if you chose to focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't? What if you realized that you already have everything you need within you to succeed? It's easy to feel like you're missing something crucial, but what if you recognized your inner strength and resources? You have resilience, creativity, and determination. What if you've tapped into these qualities more often? Imagine what you could achieve if you truly believed in your own power. What if you embraced the idea that you're the author of your own story? Each day is a new page, and you have the power to write the next chapter. What if you stopped letting negative thoughts dictate your narrative? Instead, what if you took charge and wrote a story of courage, hope, and triumph? So today I challenge you to ask yourself, what if? Embrace the possibility that your life can be better than you imagine. Believe in your own strength and potential. You are the author of your story, and your future is full of possibilities.